While on the throne of St. Peter, Pope St. John Paul II presided over more beatifications and canonizations than any previous pope in history. As a matter of fact, he more than doubled the number of blesseds and saints celebrated in the Catholic Church. Some of the women and men he raised to the honor of the altar were young people. One of them was Pier Giorgio Frissati. In the town of Turin, just a few hundred miles from Rome, one can visit the home of Blessed Pier Giorgio Frissati, who was not unlike the biblical David. He was a man who relished the thrills of sports. He climbed mountains and went on hikes, drove cars and danced with girls. And he was known to down a good beer from time to time. He smoked too. In fact, the portrait that the Vatican chose to use at his beatification mass showed him atop his beloved Italian Alps, smoking a pipe. In the end, that pipe would be airbrushed out of the picture, but Pier Giorgio would remain a man's man. His saintliness was founded on a life of tireless service to the most marginalized, downcast, and overburdened. In this, Frissati was not unlike the young Karol Wojtyła, who cared for his alien father or helped poor Polish Jews obtain food and safe passage out of the clutch of Hitler and later Stalin. Frissati was not afraid to defend with his fists the honor of a woman or the rights of some peasant. Muscular strength was never his first line of defense, though. He preferred the battle of truth and goodness and the high adventure of reason, poetry, and drama. Again here, one thinks of the young Karol Wojtyła, who performed in underground theaters and studied metaphysics while laboring in a stone quarry. But Frissati did not shrink from using his physical strength when it was needed. Even at those times, he never fought in order to prove a point. After all, he did not believe that might was the measure of truth. But he fought instead to protect and to defend those who could not help themselves. When a fascist invaded his own home and threatened the lives of his mother and sister, he hit him in the head so hard that he came to as a Catholic. As he was well liked, his death at the age of 24 hit his friends and loved ones like a knife jab to the soul. To them, his muscular training had been usurped before it had ever ripened. His readiness to stand up for justice's sake had been extinguished with the first blow of polio. It was a painful and hideous joke thrown down from heaven, or so it might have seemed. Yet to Pier Giorgio, his whole life was a matter of a different kind of training. His motto in life was that to live without a Catholic faith, without a heritage to defend, and without being embattled at all times in the cause for truth, is not to live at all, but to just get along. He would later conclude that we, who through the grace of God are Catholic, must never just get along, we must live. In his espousal of authentic manliness, he learned to live, even at the moment of death, for the greater honor of God. Pope St. John Paul II, pray for us. Blessed Pier Giorgio Frissati, pray for us.